Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah. In this video I'm going to show you how to assemble my cute little leprechaun layered SVG file. He's perfect for St. Patrick's Day and he is available to download for free on my website craftwithsarah.com. I'll drop a link in the description of this video to the exact page to go to get the download. Now, a couple of things before I get started. When I tested this design, I noticed that this little gap in the beard underneath the nose would actually work quite well as a mouth. So when you load the SVG into Design Space, you will be able to see the mouth in the pink colour of the face rather than the orange of the beard. But if you'd prefer it to be orange, I'm going to show you how you can get rid of the pink and put it back to orange like mine is. Here's the design uploaded into Design Space, and as of early March 2021 with Design Space 6.4 or 6.5, it's got a little weird bug where when you load in an SVG, it appears at 12 inches tall, which is obviously really big. So you want to make sure you resize it before you cut it out with your machine. So resize it to whatever frame or wall or whatever it is that you're going to be putting it on is, just to make sure that it is not going to be huge. Now, as I mentioned, the design that you see has got the little smile taken out of the beard, but if you'd rather it didn't have that, you can fix it and fill it in with that bottom orange colour. And to do that, look in the layers panel for the bottom beard layer, so the one that appears underneath, and then click on that layer to select it. Go down to the contour button on the very bottom right and click into that. Once that's loaded, click the little gap in the mouth and that will hide it. So when I close out of here, you see it's now filled that in with orange, so you're hiding that mouth and just putting it back to the beard colour. So it's up to you which one of those you choose, either having the mouth showing through or filling it in with the beard colour. Once you've made that decision and sized your leprechaun to the correct size for your project, hit make it, cut everything out, and then I'll show you how to stick it together. Here are all my layers cut out, and what I like to do as I'm cutting them is just place them in the order that they're going to be stuck together in, and that just lets you know that you haven't forgotten anything, and you can check that you're happy with the colours and everything like that. So now that I've got those in position, I can start just pulling them apart so that I can stick it all together. So this is the very bottom layer, the one with the whole leprechaun, and then the next layer we're going to stick on is the green one, which looks like this, so it's all solid inside the shape. And this is just going to go on top, and I'm going to use 3D foam pads to stick it on. So my foam pads are quite big, so I've just gone down with a pair of scissors and cut them smaller so that I don't have to use as many. We want to make sure we have a good stick. So as well as positioning the foam pads around the edges, also put some into the middle of the piece. And not only does this mean it will stick better because there's more for it to hold on to, but also it means that this piece isn't going to sag down when we put everything else on top of it because we're giving it some stability. Peel the tops off of the foam pads. I'm sorry if you can hear some squeaking. My dog's in the next room playing with a toy. So now I'm going to stick this on and line it up with that base layer. Oops, missed a little bit there. I might turn it round. And now it's time to add the next one, which is the last big green piece, and this one, it's got the little gaps, the mosaic shapes in the body. And once again, I'm going to use foam pads to stick on this one. Okay, so now I can stick this into place. I'm going to do the shoes next, so these come in one black piece and then two little yellow bits. So the black feet, I'm going to add foam for those. Just a couple of pieces because it's quite small, so it doesn't need very many. And then for the buckles on top, as these are really small, I'm going to glue them rather than try and size my foam small enough. So just a couple of little bits of glue and line these up. If you're not sure where to put them, then refer back to the design in Design Space and have a look at where these buckles are lined up against the shoes. Next I'm going to do the face, and you see there's a gap at the moment for the eyebrows, and the reason I did that was because I thought they'd be a little bit small to cut out of orange separately and stick on top. So you could have green eyebrows if you just stuck it on there, but I think coloured to match the beard would be better, and that's why you've got this oval of orange. So I'm going to turn over the face so it's upside down and add a little bit of glue just around those eyebrow gaps and stick the shape of orange over the top. I actually managed to put way too much glue on there. There we go. And now when we turn it over, you can see the orange through the eyebrow gaps instead. So now this is ready to add the foam on the back and stick in place. Next I'm going to add the belt to the middle, and I actually probably should have done that before the skin colour, but never mind, because I didn't put any foam under the stalk of the shamrock, it will still fit nicely. So I'm just going to add a couple of little bits of foam on here and then put it in so that it slides underneath the stalk and then lines up with the shapes underneath. There. And for the buckle, just like I did on the shoes, I'm going to glue it on as it's quite small. But of course, if you want to, you can use the foam instead. Next we're going to do the two beard layers, and I'm going to do the base one first, so again with foam. Just slide this on and push down to seal the foam pads. And next is the other layer to go on top. Because the beard part is so narrow, I'm not going to add any foam around there. I'm just going to put it in the top and the bottom and hope that it doesn't sag in the beard area, but I think it'll be okay. Nothing else is going on top of it in the actual beard section, so it should be fine. Next I'm going to do the shamrock, and the bottom layer is going to be stuck on with foam, but before I do that I'm going to glue the top layer on, and the reason I'm gluing this is because it is quite small in between all the polka dots, so I think gluing it will be easier. Just a little bit of glue in these gaps. Make sure you don't add too much because you don't want the glue to kind of spill out over the sides when you stick it to the other piece. There, and now I can add some foam and stick the shamrock in place. And then I'm going to do the hands next. I'm actually going to cheat a little bit and put the foam directly on the design. I bent my thumb a little bit when I took it off the mat. I don't know if you can see that, it's got a little crease in it, but I don't think you'll notice when it's actually framed. Alright, we are nearly there. Let's do the hat next, and here it is. So just like with the shamrock, I'm going to glue the top piece of the hat to the bottom. There are quite a few big pieces. Oh, look, there's a little bit there that didn't come out. There are quite a few big areas, so you could foam it. I'm a little bit conscious of how thick this is with so many layers at the moment anyway. So I think glue is probably the best choice. There's my hat. So now I can add the foam, stick this in place, and then for the belt on the hat I'm going to use foam on this one. I have to cut a few more smaller bits. there, and to keep consistent with the others I will glue the buckle on, even though this one is a bit bigger. There, alright, he's nearly ready, he just needs his little face. So I've got a nose, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to stick this. I don't think I planned this very well. So my design I've got here is going to be different to the one you download. So on this one I forgot to cut out the nose shape in the orange as well, so that I could just stick the nose on top of the beard. So your one will have a little circle at the top of the orange shapes, and that will be what you'll stick the nose to. But as I don't have that, I'm just going to try and get it into position with some foam. Yours will be easier to do than that because you can just stick it on top of what's already there. And now I've got the eyes left, and you've got a white bit and a black bit for each eye, and we're going to use glue for these. So just a tiny drop of glue onto the face. Use the Design in Design Space for a guide if you're not sure where. And gently put the whites of the eyes on. And then put another little piece of glue down the bottom of that white. And stick the black parts of the eye on top. So the hole in the eye will be at the top, like that. And then that one. And if you need to, whilst the glue is still dry, you can move them about a little bit until you're happy with where they're showing. There we have it, our little Irish leprechaun all ready for St. Patrick's Day. And this is now ready for you to stick it on your wall or put it in a frame or whatever it is that you're going to do with it. So I've taken my leprechaun design and I've put it into a frame. I've taken the glass out the frame because this was just a standard photo frame, not a box frame, so it didn't have the thickness. But I think that's okay because this is only going to be out for a short while, so I don't think it's going to really get dusty or damaged. If you'd like to know how to design a background like this with the clouds and the grass at the bottom, then subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'll be doing a video on that in a couple of weeks' time. I hope you've enjoyed this video on how to make your own gorgeous little leprechaun. Don't forget the file's available to download from craftwithsarah.com or follow the link in the description. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut crafts and free SVGs. Thank you for watching. Bye!